game, and I am just giving him a good rundown of how this is all going to go down. So you can check out the stream. It's over YouTube. If you have a mobile device, you can also do it. Wolfie space 3636. Alright, Slayd?
Yep.
Let me know when you're watching.
Oh, it's wanting to be a pain. Get me in there.
Take your time. I'm not in a rush.
What did you say the channel was?
Wolfie space 3636. So, ladies and gents, you don't have to subscribe. It's okay. I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, man? You see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so these are called the Shelob memories. They're going to be located all over the maps of the areas that you have not discovered yet. Once you collect all of them, you're going to get a certain ability unlocked. Same goes for when you get these ethereal doors and the ethereal notes. They're going to look like this on the mini-map. You're going to have to go to the giant eyeballs around the map in order to get these, to see all this stuff eventually. They're called the Towers of the Eyes. Okay? And then there's lost artifacts. If you can find all of them, you can literally go ahead and collect them all, and once you collect them all, you can unlock an ability. Now I'm going to show you what abilities at least the Shelob memories and the Gondorian artifacts give you. There's two abilities that it gives you. Now I'm going to go into the character sheet, and so that way I can show you what this is. It's going to have a yellow lock. So this is called Upgrade Prospector. Increase your chances of receiving higher quality gems from defeated enemies. This helps you in certain cases, and you have to find all Gondorian artifacts in order to have this. Notice how he's going to show you that little video of him killing an Olog and it drops a bigger gem piece. Usually you only get level 1 gems. This will allow you to get level 3 or level 4 gems out of this. Then there's also, for the Shelob memories, summon a cluster of spiders by pressing right on the D-pad. Spiders have poison attacks which can exploit the weakness of a captain or higher rank orc. Mind you, there are certain captains that have the ability to summon spiders. If you summon spiders on them, they can turn those spiders against you. Understand, certain captains have certain abilities where they can go ahead and counter you, which means that if you summon a Category and the person is literally a Category person, and it doesn't need to say in his name that he's a Category tamer, he just needs to be able to howl and call Categories into the fight for him, which means he's a Beastmaster, then he can take control of your Category. If he is a Grog caller, then you summon a Grog, which are these big puppies.
Yeah.
Then understand, he can take that Grog away from you. That means that Grog will no longer listen to you, it will listen to him. So you have to be careful on what you're trying to summon against who. There's even people who can summon drakes, and it is insane. I bumped into a captain who was able to summon a drake, and I got my butt whooped like hard because I tried to summon my own, and then I was riding it around trying to kill him, and he literally roared, and the dragon knocked me off and literally took half my health in the process. Yeah, like, so understand, like, different effects can do different things. Now, as I said, this bottom part called the story, this is what you're gonna have to do. You have to play the story in order to unlock this. This is called the drain. This is when you start being able to drain health from other orcs. Doesn't mean that you're taking them over, not until you get this domination, which will happen later in the story. But it doesn't mean that you can take over captains, it just means you can take over troops. The chances of a captain showing up that wants to work for you will be rare, and it usually will show up in the pit. Once you control a fortress, your very first fortress, you'll start to see more of them show up in the pit. You can use them to betray captains. You can collect a bunch of them. Understand, this is me being able to bring back the dead. This is a whole different thing. You're not going to have this. This is a whole different thing. Right now for you, this would be an ability where you can do what's called you suck the hell out of people's lives. If I am correct, yes, you do. Okay, and for me, because I have already beaten the game, this is a whole different thing. It is me being able to bring back people from the dead and or summon even the undead phantasms to fight for me. Now as for this is a whole different story. This pertains to my captains, so this is eventually where you're going to be able to dominate captains, and this is only when they're broken status effect, when they are literally grabbable and you can actually go ahead and hold circle and gather information from a captain. This is what happens. You can dominate him, and it'll give you a choice of recruit and other things. But be careful, because if he has what's called Iron Will, he can literally stop you from making him be recruitable. And in which case, then you're going to want this this little neat ability up here. Where is it? Is it here? No, it is not. Okay. No, that's bodyguard. Where is it? That is Olog that I'm able to go ahead and take over Ologs.
I think I just fought an Olog, to be honest.
Yeah, Ologs.
The war troll thing, right?
Yeah, those are war trolls. They basically, what you don't know is trolls are not supposed to be able to walk during daytime. These Ologs, that's why they call them Olog Highs. Olog Highs were chosen by the Dark Lord and given this special ability through their bloodlines to be able to walk during day. So they literally they basically defy what trolls can usually do. Where is it? Where is it? I know it's one of these abilities over here where I can shame people. I'm trying to look for the shaming ability real quick because it's one of the most useful abilities that you're going to unlock later in the game. I've unlocked everything, as you can see. Like, and then this little perk here, this is literally just prestiging. So you see, gain 1.20% of increased critical hit damage. You see, might recovery per hit, focus recovery per hit, health recovery per kill, you know, mount damage and defense, you know, wraith per recovery per kill. So like, it's just different things that you're going to be able to prestige for each time you keep leveling up after you get to level 80, and it gets stronger and stronger. Players are really OP in this game. You gotta be careful, because if you try to attack the wrong person, they might even have something that's too strong. Okay, so here it is. Where? Okay, so there goes the death threat, so it has to be somewhere in here. Oh yeah, you're gonna want this ability. This will always help you. Make sure you get this one that goes specifically, because this is what happens. Now watch when in the video, he's gonna puke all over him, and that makes all of them turn into rage mode, and they're gonna keep attacking each other and other orcs, which spreads the infection. It can really work very good against captains. Poison tendrils. Another thing about poison tendrils is you don't even need to be nearby. You can just be aiming with the bow and press triangle. It doesn't waste the arrow, nothing, and it basically makes it poisonous. So instead of having to walk up to those little grog barrels and put the poison in, you don't need to do it after that. Oh, and the first thing you want to invest in is get this execution, right? But get this Grim Resolve. Why? Because you gain might each time you are damaged in combat. So instead of losing that hit streak, you're going to keep getting the hit streak, so that way you can do the triangle circle for executions. Okay? That's just
Okay.
that's just something for you to, like, you know, look forward to, because when you look at the other ones, one just states, A, gain might for each kill while remaining undetected. But understand, the moment you get hit, you lose that entire kill streak, you lose that entire hit streak. Same thing for this. Successful sword strikes gain much more might. Might fully resets after you take damage, miss an attack, or exit combat. So you see what I'm saying? Like, that kind of sucks. Compared to if you just get hit, you know, you get to keep it, and it stays with you forever. And another one to save up for is this: gain an additional last chance attempt. So if you're about to die, this is a last chance. This will save you in the last minute of your life. Um, Literally. And sometimes it'll even buy you enough time for one of your captains to help save your life. It is one of the best perks that you will love for dear life. Um, where is the Shane? I know I had it somewhere here. Give me a minute. I'm just gonna look real quick through here. Okay, so that's me dominating. Just wanted to show you what that would look like. And you can also do it in a stealthy way. I just did it without stealth. Now I'm about to do it in a stealthy way. You see how he turned white? That means I was still in stealth and he didn't know. And then look, you see this guy? Boom. Got him in stealth mode, and now he's mine. Now you see his color change from red to blue? That means he works for me. I'm a different type. You notice I don't have Celebrimbor. That's because I don't have I beat the game. There's something else that happens that I don't want to spoil for you. It's part of the story. Give me a minute here. I'm gonna see now if it shows up. Ah, here it is. Okay, so here goes the death threat. Okay, you can use a worm. Otherwise, you know, the little green symbol above somebody's people's head. So this would use a worm to deliver a message to a specified captain, letting him know that you are coming for him. This improves your chances of foraging a high quality gear after killing the threatened enemy, but it also gives him a better chance of also not only gaining a gang, but he can also upgrade to epic, and he can even upgrade to legendary. So which means that he can get 2 epic perks. The difference between a legendary and an epic, I'll show you this real quick before I go ahead and continue. Notice this is a normal. You see the little symbol, you see the little circle under him? You see how this is like just bluish? You see that?
Yeah.
Alright. Now, well, I shouldn't even say, it looks like a sky blue almost, okay? Now look,
Yeah.
this is an epic. They're orange. And now when I go into him and his details, by the way, all these captains are mine. I own them now. See? Epic trait, gang of elite Ologs. Now then after that, when I go to a legendary, they look purplish or dark blue, I should say. Now watch when I go ahead and look at the details. He has 2 epic traits. That's the difference between an epic and a legendary. A legendary is going to be having capabilities of owning 2 epic traits. They can do 2 powerful things. Whether it could be influencing their troops, which is what he's doing. He has what's called a Fire Master. So he's influencing his troops, allowing them to deal out more fire damage, and for himself. And on top of that, he has Fanatical Gang. Leads a gang that becomes enraged if he is attacked. I'm planning to give him to you because he's level 53. So when you get to level 53, I will assign him to one of these fortresses, and you can end up taking him. I'm also going to try to take lower level captains so that way I can give them to you. Okay?
Okay.
But that won't happen for a while because you need to start taking over fortresses, which doesn't happen until late in the game. You can do it at a very early level. You can do it at a very late level. What I recommend is you wait until you get onto at least level 40 before you get to that part. Do not try to take over fortresses until you get to level 40. Do not try to dominate captains until you get to level 40, because 9 times out of 10 it's going to make the game 10 times harder for you, and you're going to be facing level 80 captains and level 60 captains getting your butt owned. Now going back to this is, remember how I said captains can get something called Iron Will?
Yeah.
This is what gets rid of it. Iron Will, shame ruins the mind of your target, enormously reducing their level and possibly making them deranged. Deranged means they no longer speak any language. They just start going die 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 die. They just say one word. They start going crazy. And there's a small chance that he can actually become stronger and create a dangerous maniac. Now, what this also does is it can get rid of called the Iron Will. Iron Will is going to be something that'll always show up on one specific area of the orc or Olog High. These are Olog High, by the way. Oh yeah, this is my boy. See how he's terrified of spiders? That's how I got him. But anyways, this is where it would usually show up, right here in the bonuses. So remember this is always going to be on the fourth slot, all the way to the right, towards the middle, on the left side. It's not going to be in the weaknesses, it's going to be in the strengths. The strengths are on the left, the weaknesses are on the right. So you can always take a look at strengths on a captain. If you can gain information about strengths on a captain without getting a worm. Now if you want to know weaknesses, then you're going to need to get a worm. You see the difference?
Yes.
And the worm has the green little diamond. This right here, you want to take a look at this first. If he doesn't have Iron Will, and you have the ability to dominate captains, then you can dominate him. Okay? I'm also planning to give you him, because he's level 45, so this will be a lot more doable for you. He's a really good captain. He is a Cursed Marauder commander, and I will be upgrading him to legendary soon. But look at him. He has epic trait Curse Master, so which means increased damage dealt by himself and his allies on curse. He has a cursed weapon. He has a gang of Ologs, meaning he just has a bunch of dudes that are his size gonna whoop ass. He's a commander, so he emboldens those who fight alongside him, enabling him to fully unleash their battle lust. He also can perform war banners, orders his followers to plant his banners, strengthening nearby allies and sending them into a battle-induced fury, meaning they become enraged. They will not stop attacking unblockable attacks. Unblockable attacks will have the X symbol. Counter attacks will have a triangle symbol. And if there's a difference. If there's a triangle symbol and it has a yellow bar near it, then that means that all you can do is dodge. You can't even counter it. All you can do is dodge. Because if you get hit, it's most likely going to hurt like hell. Destroy these banners to undermine his command. He can also call in reinforcements. So, summons reinforcements to replace gang orcs who have fallen in battle. Aware his horn. Because when he blows this horn, he's going to call more Ologs to the fight. Literally, you can get like eight Ologs in a matter of seconds with this guy on the field. Okay, I've had him follow me to death one time, and this man saved my life twice. He's a good captain. I can promise you that. He has Dying Command, drives orcs into a vengeful frenzy when he dies. So even if he does die, any of your troops that are nearby, they will immediately go enraged and go trying to avenge him. And if they successfully kill, they can even possibly be promoted to a captain status for it. He's a class bonus Olog strength, so he can counter attacks with powerful stunning blows, because they're just big as hell. And he's enraged when he burns, so he just gets pissed when he burns. And he's poison proof and vigilant against stealth. Now I know what you're thinking. Why did I not make his weapon poison? I did it. I actually caught him like this and I never changed him. Understand he is damaged by fire, he does get damaged by executions, and he does get damaged by ranged attacks, and he's terrified of spiders. So if anybody has anything that can summon spiders, and there are other ways to summon spiders, as you notice, I don't have the summoning spider ability with my right D-pad. What I do have, which I will show you here, is I have, so you know how you can detonate those fire pits?
Yep.
Look at this. Upgrade. Spiders. Okay. Look at this. If it goes ahead and if I detonate this, I summon spiders, a swarm of spiders to enter the area. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of funny too. Because not only did I disorientate everybody, I didn't light them on fire. I just summoned a bunch of spiders to the area and they'll just fucking start killing them. So it's pretty neat. Different things can do different abilities. But yeah. Now later in game you'll be able to bring captains from the dead. But that's when you beat the game. That's what I did with this guy. There's a difference between the undead and the regular captains. So I told you close the door. Alright, so you see this guy? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, so you see this guy, Urmasi the Grog Maker. Notice it says fiery undead tank. He's an undead. He died. I brought him back from the dead. There are distinct differences. Look at his eyes. His eyes are green. That's how you know he's undead. There's another distinct difference which I will show you shortly in a matter of seconds. You will not get this ability. You cannot do this on your maps because you haven't gained a fortress. You're not that far in the game yet. So I'm about to teleport up here. You notice that eye symbol that I just teleported to?
Yep.
You're gonna have to go to each one of those and look around using the eyeball, and you have to find the Shelob memories, the Gondorian artifacts, and all that stuff and everything. So you're going to have to use these. You have to climb these towers, and yeah, there's nothing special about them. You see, I had to climb this. You see how I'm trying to show you that it's not going to turn invisible like in Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
And then when you do this, this is what it's going to look like. And boom. And then it'll have like a little circle, and it'll hum when you're getting closer and closer. The circle will get smaller and smaller when you're getting closer, but if you're getting too far away, the circle will get bigger and bigger. That's how you also find the barrows. The barrows is how you get the Celebrimbor armor, which is legendary. It's an entire set of legendary armor. You might want to go for it early in because it's the most useful when it's early in. Alright, so now I'm going to show you the pit fights, which are the more, I should say, the most fun part about this game is the pit fight. So here we go. This is the pit fight. When you start controlling fortresses, you can do pit fights, which are fun as hell. Now you see this, I'm taking a look at his immunities, his hates, his class traits, and his bonuses. This is his mortal weaknesses, which means he can instantly die from this. Vulnerabilities, meaning that this will usually go ahead and do a lot of damage to him. And then that second one will be the daze, and this will be hints of what he can be damaged by. Okay? He's susceptible to frost. But what I'm looking at here, he's mortally flammable. I mean, I ain't worried. He about to die. Now there is something that you need to know about the undead. The undead have always this ability here. Can never be broken, even when at low health. Undead cannot be taken over by enemy players. They cannot be taken over by enemy players. There is also another thing. He can never level up. So which means other captains that you capture, they can level up to a maximum level of whatever your maximum level is. So say your level is level 55, all your captains cannot be higher level than you. They will always be at your level. They can never go above your level. Understand? So
Mm-hmm.
when you get to level 80 and you face a level 85 captain, you can't capture him. You're gonna have to shame him, drop his level, and then go find him again, and then recruit him. But that's if he hasn't gone maniac. You gotta hope that he goes deranged instead. Um, Bang Boom Pow. I'm just showing you what he has. This guy. Now here goes the thing about undead as well. They will always be damaged by fire. Just like any other zombie game, fire kills the undead. Any other fire game, fire will kill the undead. It is the most
Makes sense.
brutal, easy thing to understand. So look, when it says right here, undead can no longer level up, is vulnerable to fire, and cannot be dominated. Meaning that nobody can take him over. He's gonna stay like this forever until he officially dies. The only reason why I like this guy, because he cheated death 6 times. Like, I did try to kill him off when he was an undead, and he came back to me 6 times. So at that point, I just keep him. He's too good to just get rid of, apparently. There's no point in trying to get rid of him. Now here goes another distinct difference between undead and regular captains, which you're about to see in this pit fight. And this is, like I said, this is the most fun part about the game, because you could just watch this. It's just enjoyment. You could be eating a bowl of cereal and just watch this. Notice how he's talking, right? Now, that's not even proper English. He can't even talk. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's another distinct difference between the undead and regular living captains. They cannot speak at all. They just make some sort of sound like they can't speak. Oh, my captain is dazed by categories. I forgot about this. But it's fine. I'm not worried, because even if he dies, I'm gonna capture that captain. And then I'm gonna kill him. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and put one of my other captains in, because I want to show you this neat little feature as well. Notice if that timer runs out before my captain dies, my captain takes victory. Okay? Because he survived the trial. That was the whole point of this. A minute and 35 seconds. Notice...
Oh, see, I'm at like a minute 40.
Ah, okay. So I'm a couple seconds ahead of you. You see what I'm saying? And it's just part of live streaming. It's always like that.
Yeah.
Kind of sad.
Or the assassin. I've already killed this guy.
Be careful. That's called cheating death. They can come back from the dead. So you know when captains make their announcement and they're like, Talion! You thought you killed me! And then it says like cheated death right under while he's like talking to you. That means, and it's like in bold, big letters. Then that means that, like, yeah, he came back from the dead just to fight you again. He's that obsessed with you.
It doesn't say that he can cheat death.
It doesn't. It's not gonna announce that he cheated death until you have that conversation with him.
Oh, I need to be careful. Apparently, he gets pissed off if you vault over him.
So, not vaulting, but acrobatics, meaning that if you perform any fast movements, anything that is like a bit odd, he will be pissed. That's called acrobatics. There's a type of...
Yeah, enraged by acrobatics, yeah.
Yeah. So which means...
Whatever. This guy will have another go. Whoop his ass. Again. Nope. Go away, Archer. Okay, so we're immune to ranged. Which means me taking this arrow shot.
Okay, so now I just killed that level 25 captain. Now, are you still watching the stream?
Yes.
Okay, now here.
I'm quite literally moving between the two.
Okay, now here goes. Now here goes the thing here. This is the one thing that you're gonna be able to do later on in the game, and you need internet. So you need to be online to be able to do this part of the game. It's called the garrison. It's going to be under the inventory. Every time, remember how I told you you can dominate one of my captains and then you make him retreat and you can put him in your army later? This is how you do it. You go to garrison. These are where all my extra captains are. I have a lot of them. I still got 65 of them. These are my common captains. Notice their levels. I've taken them from other players. I've taken them from all sorts of different things that I've done. These are my epics. And then I got legendaries. So now that one of my good captains who was undead had died, and that was the Urmasui, the grog maker. Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and put one of my beastmasters in there because I want him there. You know, I want him there. Now notice how I can't put him in there because there's still a dead body that is still in good shape. That means I didn't execute the guy, so I have to find a way to put in a new body in the game. But that's how you're gonna do that part. The garrison is one of the most important parts of this game because it's the only one that requires internet, and you won't be able to do, if you don't have internet connection, you can't perform that. So which means then after that you're gonna have to figure out a different way to get new captains, which means either get yourself killed by one of the regular troops so that way he can get promoted to captain, but also be careful because any captains that you do have may betray you if you die too many times. They start to believe that you're too weak and that you're not worthy of following. You understand?
Yep.
So understand, orcs and Olog follow a rule. Power. If you're not strong and you don't rule with an iron fist, they don't care. If you start becoming soft and you start to catch feelings for them, they don't care. So
I just unlocked that threat.
Nice. Death threat will help you big time. But remember, the shaming part you will not get until you get to a certain part of the story. So don't fear that. Get your head chopped, buddy.
Sorry, I didn't mean to sneeze.
Nah, you're fine. God bless you.
Oh. Yeah, we're taking poison tendril.
Now this is the usual funny part, is now I get to have fun and see which one of my captains I want to put in the pit to fight another captain. And I'm gonna put the captain that I recommended that I was gonna give to you. He's gonna level up though if he wins, and if he doesn't, then he's gonna die. He's just insulting the guy. He's like, I am here waiting. Come. Yeah, see, look at the size difference between the Ologs compared to these Uruks. They're like half the freaking size. But I will say this right now, never underestimate an Uruk. If they are a Slayer type, they have what's called a triple strike attack ability sometimes. And that crap can make anybody bend their knee. They will literally be on the ground, dazed, on their hands and knees, trying to recuperate. And never underestimate captain types that are Uruks. They can always kill Ologs, regular Ologs at least, very easily. Now, between the level differences, usually a higher level will always dish out way more damage than a lower level captain. So understand, if you put the same level captains against each other, they're generally going to have the same amount of damage against each other. But There is also perks that can allow a captain to dish out more damage, and there's also perks that can allow a captain to take less damage.
Okay, so I have a legit question.
What's your question?
The biggest thing I am confused on is the gearing aspect.
Okay, now there are two ways to gear in this game, which I'm about to show you here.
Like, I just don't, like, I'm looking at a Gondorian bow level 4,
Okay,
uh,
so you're in the
Ascar.
okay, so I just want to say this right now. These are your slots. You want to unlock these as quickly as possible because these also
Yeah, that's what so I have my sword and my bow for the gem slots unlocked.
okay. Okay, so let me just show you this. By putting in a certain type of gem, notice that I put the white gem. The white gem will allow a 15% increased chance that enemies killed by this weapon drop money. That's money symbol, by the way. So
Yeah,
that
I've realized that.
yeah. Um, there's a thing that comes with the gear as well. And notice how I'm only got legendaries. Yeah, I've collected like a lot of legendaries. They're gonna be purple. Remember that purple is always bitter. It's always the best stuff to have. Notice the symbols that I have. You see how there's like four of these skull symbols, and then I got two of these little sun symbols. So they do different things. Um, there's a reason why. Take a look. Notice how it says set bonus 2 of 2 equipped, call followers and iron guards, summons revenants, and then restore 20 health when a nearby undead follower dies. Now,
Okay.
there's another reason why I wear this entire set. Grunts killed by melee attacks have 23% chance to resurrect as allies, and a 14% increased damage when health is full. Grunts killed by stealth attacks have a 44% chance to resurrect as allies and gain 5 wraith on stealth kill. Now, I'm going to go back to that. Allied grunts have a 40% chance to resurrect when they die, 25% chance that a critical strike applies curse. And then Grog Call summons an elemental Grog instead of always a regular Grog, and undead allies take 50% less damage. You see my combo now? You see what I'm working with? I bring back the dead, whether I'm killing them in stealth, whether I'm killing them with regular melee, or whether I'm going to go ahead and just, even if one of my own allied grunts dies, I'm still going to get them coming back from the dead. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the whole point of this build. So I bring the dead back to life by just being there sometimes. And I can also summon an elemental grog, which is the left on the D-pad, if I want to. Now, this is where I got this little nit factor. This is a legendary mystic. So these are mystic armors. Reduce call followers cooldown by 25%. 50% increased damage dealt by Uruk allies. And set bonus 2 of 2, dominated grunts take 50% less damage, and if I would have had 4 of this type of armor on, dominated grunts gain cursed weapons. I didn't want to get that, because I don't like it. Now look at this one. Chain of Shadows consumes 40% less focus, 25% chance to replenish 1 elf shot per ranged kill. So, for every 4 shots, I'm going to get 1 arrow back. That's not always guaranteed, but that's what it's basically saying. Understand, I have to kill legendary captains in order to get this kind of gear. And some of those captains were even my own captains. Now, when it comes down to these gems, understand, different gems have different abilities. You want to just stack these gems up, forge them by holding square, and level them up. So this is what I'm about to show you what that is like now. You always need 3 of a kind. This is the best. So notice how it says, if I put it on a weapon, 30% increased damage with this weapon. If I put it on the armor, 15% increased damage with all attacks. If I put it in a rune, which means the ring, 30% increased follower damage. So you see, each thing has its own part where it tells you where, if you put it in this part, this is what it'll do for you. If you put it in that part, this is what it'll do for you. So now I have my entire set of maxed out gems. Anytime you have extra gear that you're not going to wear, which is typically this yellow, the orange, because eventually it's going to become useless to you, the white gear. Once you get legendary gear, bro, just wear it. Don't worry about sets until later on when you start facing a lot more legendary captains. The further you go into the game, the more easier you'll start seeing these legendary captains. And like I said, if you do find all the barrows and you find all the little poems, there is a poem that you're going to have to read. I will show you what that looks like. No, actually, I can't show you what that looks like. Wait, did I finish that ball? I believe I did. My bad, I gotta check my quest real quick. I need to see if I have all of Celebrimbor's armor. Okay, I got his weapon. It's called the Bright Lord's Sword. Do I have his short sword? I do. Do I have his bow? I do. Do I have his chest armor? I do. Please tell me I don't have them all already. That way I can at least show you. Okay, I have his helmet. Do I have his ring? I don't have his ring. Okay, so there's still a poem that I haven't done yet. Okay, so going back to this, you remember the giant eyeball that I showed you earlier?
Yes.
You're going to want to look for these symbols here. They're going to look like this on the map. You see all these things that I'm looking at right now? Each one of these represent a word. And later on, you're going to have to find the barrows. The barrows have a door that only resonates and opens for only one person, a wraith. And Celebrimbor is a wraith. He's just a good one. Unlike the wraiths that the Dark Lord controls. Those are evil ones. They are being used by the Ring of Powers. Rings of Power. Now you see all these are words. Every last one of these is a word. Notice what it says: collect all Ithindel in the region to restore this Ithindel door poem. So each one is just for a poem that you're going to have to know. There is one that I am missing. I don't know exactly where it is. I'm pretty sure it's at this barrows, but I'm not. No, I did these barrows. I did this the other day. So it's in a different map.
So I just sent a death threat to a captain.
Now you're going to notice that he either leveled up like by 20 or 10 levels, maybe even 5. He also will have better gear when you kill him, possibly.
It said that to give you an idea of exactly what it seems like it did. So he's now level 15.
Mm-hmm. That means he leveled up. What was it?
Killing enemies from stealth reward. Okay, something about XP.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, I don't know how far you leveled up, but it obviously.
Okay. Now here goes something else. You make sure that you know what the captain already has before you just send a death threat. You only send death threats if you plan to upgrade that captain and or capture him later on. My best advice is you don't even need to show up to the death threat, but if you do honor the death threat, understand you gotta face an entire army plus him.
I'm fine with that. I want better gear at the moment.
Okay. Mind
This
you,
dude's going to die. Like, I'm going to make it happen, but...
alright. Mind you, he can also upgrade by just killing you.
Well, I don't want to sit and die a bunch either, so...
Yeah. I mean, for now, dying is okay. For you. For me, notice, look at this. You see all these guys that I have? All these captains that I own? Look at this. If I go to this fortress, all those blue names, that means they work for me. All these other blue names, they work for me. These other blue names, they work for me. All these other blue names, they work for me. So, me dying is not in my resume. If I die, any of these captains can decide to start betraying me, and it influences other captains to start betraying me. And if all the other captains start betraying me, I can end up losing all of my captains eventually. And if I don't usually visit an area very often, my captains will eventually believe that I will never show back, and when I do, they'll say, "Oh, it's time to ambush him now. We gotta kill him. You know, he tricked us. We thought he was a friend, but no, he's not even a friend." I believe.
Well, I'm trying to do the smart thing and build up my wraith attack bar thing before I go into this.
Understand, if you do too many quests, it'll waste the time. You can only do a maximum of 3 quests before his quest will disappear.
Oh, no, like, I'm not doing any quest on my way to him.
No, I'm just letting you know. So remember that every time a captain has a quest, or a vendetta, or something against you, or even, like, you do a death threat, you have basically 3 quests to honor it, or show up, or be there. Oh, I just gotta look for the barrels in here. Okay. There's still an Itholden door. I bet I accidentally unplugged my mic. There's still an Itholden door that I did not open yet, and I am going to show you what they look like and how you have to try to solve them. So you need to collect all the words, which I did collect every single word on all the maps already. I'm just trying to figure out what map I have to go to in order to get the last item that I am missing. Oh, and there's lore. There's a lot of lore. Have you ever seen Lord of the Rings, the movie?
Yep.
So every one of this is lore that pertains to the movie. You remember when Gandalf and the others, they sat down and they were talking about things and how the kingdom was gonna go, and they announced that the little dwarf dude, the little hobbit dude, was gonna go all the way over there. This is where that took place, right here.
Minas Tirith.
Because it is the home to the White Tree and the heart of Gondor itself.
So what's this glaive attack?
Hold square.
Yeah, I've done it. I just don't understand its purpose.
To stun people.
Okay, so it's just basically a stun.
Yeah, it's just a stun attack, but later on you can upgrade it to do even more than that. And it's good for the AoE. So it's good against crowds of enemies, but, you know, it just takes too long to freaking charge. It's good against those kind of dudes who have shields, the defenders. It's good against those.
Okay. Okay, awesome. I got all of my blue bar filled up, so now I can go answer this death threat. And I wish I had more arrows.
Press L1 and look for arrows on the mini-map. You'll see the little arrow symbol there. You go to that area. Sometimes they'll be on higher ground, sometimes they'll be on lower ground. Sometimes they'll be right around the wall. So you just gotta look around for them. That's why I tell you press L1 so that way you can actually see the arrows sticking out of the wall. Alright, let me see if I can get to an Iffelden door. So that way I can show you what they look like and what you're gonna have to do. So like, I just want to show you what the poem is kind of like, because I have all the answers, because I kind of looked it up. So I cheated, yeah, I did. Sorry fans, I did cheat. But it's because I just didn't figure it out. I always attempt first to do it without it. Okay, so I've been here. Now you hear that voice, that's just the ring trying to assume that it will be able to take over me. Because it's a
Oh,
power.
wait,
Yeah, so, essentially, Celebrimbor, I don't want to spoil the story for you. So, like, do you care about the story or no?
I'm gonna play it either way.
So, okay, then you don't want to get it spoiled for you, because
Deadly speed.
now what I do like about this game is not everybody has to play the same. So you see how how I recommended the stuff that I did. You don't have to do that, but it's a good choice. But you don't have to. No matter what, you can do what you want. Ain't nobody forcing you.
Yeah, I get that.
Have I been to these barrels before? I have been to these barrels. Golly. So the only barrels that I haven't been to I haven't had been to these barrels. Oh no, I did check these barrels. This was like the first place I checked. So I know what barrels I need to go to.
Oh, this dude's got a cursed weapon. This is gonna...
Cursed weapon does not allow your abilities to work properly. So you know that circle button that stuns enemies and makes them turn frozen and shit like that? Yeah. Yeah, that might not work anymore. You know that little quick dash that you had before? That shit doesn't work either.
Basically what you're saying is don't get touched.
Just don't let him hit you with it. He can touch you, but the moment he hits you with that weapon, that's a whole different story. Because some captains will grab you and pull you somewhere else or push you somewhere else, but if they hit you with that weapon, that applies the curse to you. Now, if they tackled you and they start scratching up your body, if they don't have cursed on all of their stuff, then yeah, you're Gucci. Because there's some dudes who have like the claws, and some dudes who just literally will just punch you. Now, if they punch you, that's not necessarily hitting you with the weapon that is applied with curse. It's just punching you. But if they have the wild claws, which are usually beastmasters and warmongers, then my dude, most likely it has the curse, and which means most likely you're going to be fucking hurt, and you're going to be fucking dreaming and wishing that you didn't fucking go ahead and let him hit you. So just be careful to not get hit by the weapon, necessarily speaking. Not him, just the weapon. Okay, so I did open every last one of the Ethelden doors. Oh, I have to do the gain the Bright Lord's rune by earning bounds on all shadows of the past missions. Okay, well, if you take a look on my screen, so you might want to pause your game there. When you
Give me 1 second. I'm in the middle of fighting the captain.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit. Oh, never mind. Fucker's dead. Rare gear. Unlock challenge. Terrorize a captain. Your stealth attacks always apply curse. Quick throw applies curse every 42 seconds. Selected from bold the tainted. Okay. I'll take it. I'll take the Wraith chain. That's kind of cool. Being able to stealth kill 2 people. Okay, so I'm looking at you now.
Okay, cool. So when you get here, this will usually have 2 giant stone doors blocking the path because it's supposed to be hidden. This is usually what these hidden doors called the barrels will look like. You're gonna have to press L1 and the doors will suddenly start opening. Then after that you'll have entrance to them. Once you enter, you can turn it off. Then after that, when you get up here, you're gonna have, remember how I said you gotta collect those words? Once you get there, this will have a poem on this door, and then you press on it. It'll say like a nice little poem, and I'm just gonna read one off to you so that way you get a good feel for what it is like. Give me a minute here. No, I just gotta wait for one of my phones to, my phone. Okay, so looks like I'm not going to be able to read one off to you because my phone doesn't want to fucking work right now. I'm going to restart it and I'll get back to you on that. But as for now, different things, different poems. You need to find the Ithilden by using the eyeball. The eyeball is literally how you're going to find Shelob memories, Gondorian artifacts, Gerberos, Ithilden words. And the Ithilden words can be on the high part of the buildings, they can be on the low part of the buildings, they can be inside between buildings, all sorts of different things. So look carefully and look hard, you'll find them. Oh, and also the difference between an elemental grog and a regular grog is depending on what map you're on. So you know how I was on the frost one and there's like a lava one as well?
Yeah.
So right now I'm in a grasslands. So what do you think is gonna be here?
Good night, Mom.
What do you think is gonna be here? What kind of grog do you think is gonna be here?
An earth one.
There's no such thing. So remember, there's only essentially 4 different types of elements, and the grog can only have 3. There's 4. I mean, there's frost, there's curse, there's poison, and then there's fire. Those are your 4 elements. The only element that you will never find on a grog is curse. So in the ice map, of course, there's going to be a frost grog. You can even find one out there in the wilderness. And you can find a poison grog in this wilderness. So when I press left on my D-pad, I'm gonna summon a poison grog. And if I go to the volcanic area, or the fire area, better known as, I'm going to summon a fire grog. The only place that doesn't have an elemental grog would be, if I am, there's a part of the map that doesn't have any type of element. So watch. I press left on my D-pad, summon the grog, he's elemental type. Now the difference between the elementals and the non-elemental is this right here. I press L2, I hold that in, and now I can shoot a breath of poison, frost, fire, and I throw poison rocks. Understand, other than that, regular attacks are still the same. They still do everything else that a regular grog will do. And there's really nothing too special about them. Oh, spiders. I got poisoned by spiders. Now I'm gonna desummon my Grog, so he's gonna walk away. He's gonna leave this entire area. He's gonna get off the map. You saw that guy come back from the dead?
Yes.
That's my undead thing from my armor. You see how he looks so much different? He just kind of gives that glowing green eyes. That's how you know he's mine. Blue eyes are the living, green eyes are the undead. Now look, there goes a regular Grog, something that you're used to seeing. Alright, let's see here, what else can we do here?
Ooh, I just decapitated Scoth. Didn't even know I ran into him.
There we go, my web browser's working this time. Alright, so here goes one of the poems that will be on the door. These are called Minas Morgul Iffleden Door Poem Solutions. In the land of Mordor where the shadows lie, we bear our banners aloft. Boots like drums, our cadence quick, our countenance dire, for who is in this dark, dream-haunted land dares resist the righteous flame of wrath and doom themselves to despair and death. Then here goes another one. When the sun rise, no, my bad. They stalk and lurk, then lash out so furious. Our bulwark is proof against their rage, our hard-ringed hand-forged armor impervious to predations from the powers of darkness. No matter how vicious or how vile, to assail the bright Lord is to falter and fail.
Yet you cheated death, you douche.
Mm-hmm.
Now, remember that assassin I've told you?
Mm-hmm. He keeps coming back, huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that means he's becoming a nemesis. Meaning he's obsessed with coming after you, so he's not going to stop, and he's going to keep coming back from the dead. No matter how many times you can execute him and kill him, he's going to come back. Now if you press triangle and circle for the last hit, it'll take a lot longer for him to come back, but he'll eventually come back.
Okay, now I need to figure out how I can heal, because, yeah. How do you heal in this one?
So, do you have any other questions?
No, I think you answered a lot.